morning, a morning motivation. Then on the issue of learning, TikTok, if you open TikTok, there is part of what you call STEM. You know, there's three parts, eh? There's STEM. When you just click on STEM, it will just give you videos to deal with STEM. Science, uh, science, technicals, and mathematics, STEM. So you'll find when you click on the STEM part on the TikTok, it'll give you videos that are assisting you it is assisting you on how to learn. You're learning some new things. Even when you want to solve a problem, like I just click on TikTok on the issue of STEM, and I'm seeing they're using this is a they're trying to calculate capacitance. That's physics. Now when I scroll down, you can find now they are teaching even how to calculate on percentage. The next one they are teaching again on percentage. How can you solve in mathematics? Mathematics and geometry tutor. They are there. Then there is what you call explore. Explore, it means now you will be going to
learn new things.
You learn new things. You're trying to explore if it is music and whatever. Then what now you are following, and again for you. So you'll find TikTok. It depends on the way you are using it. For a student, if you're a parent at home, we're advising even parents, try and regulate what your children. In fact, one day just give them a free space in your presence. Give them the phone, because TikTok definitely don't allow them to be in earphones. Let it be loud, and you follow what their interest is in, and you'll find if their interest is in let's say X-rated materials or above 18 materials, try and regulate.
With TikTok, we don't allow XX materials.
No, this XX messages, even just messages. I'm not talking about the phone replacing F with P cannot be allowed in TikTok. But you'll find that there's some messages. For example, they're talking about like that one, Kujia something. Those are X-rated messages. When a student now is capturing his attention her attention is on those ones, just know that this one, if I leave him with or her with a phone, is likely to be spoiled along the way. Then now, when I come to the issue of, let's say, WhatsApp, WhatsApp is good for communication. In fact, it's the easiest way of nowadays how people communicate. You can create even a space, like for example, community. You can place a group whereby they can chat as students. But as a parent, also be passing through those groups. Those groups are the things that they organize. In fact, they can, if social media can be the first entry, because if they form a group of a class, they can even organize, even impeach a class teacher through those WhatsApp groups. We have even seen incidences whereby they even discuss our teachers on those walls. And if they can use that wall, in fact, even to discuss assignment is good.
Colleague recently was so much abused a parent
on social media.
Actually, let me be specific on
Facebook.
Not Facebook,
WhatsApp. That's so bad.
Yeah.
That's so bad. So a parent was abusing a teacher.
Okay, so you realize you are as a parent out there, you have access to our WhatsApp group, your class. Now, I'm not saying that you failed, but you become a responsible parent once you allow your child to access for the class, unless there was a material that was shared by a teacher on that space. And if it wasn't, then your child should not be allowed to access that.
Personally,
yes,
because of morals. But the problem is that you are raised in different generations.
No, it is not a generation.
Just listen.
We are raised in different generations. Yes, it is okay, but tomorrows require change of generation.
No, I just want to explain something. You are not even getting what I was saying.
You respond those questions. Now, as a parent, whether you are the boomers or what, I don't know what, don't allow that child to to access our WhatsApp group for the class, official WhatsApp group,
Not
where
just
there
the
are
group.
parents.
In fact, entire WhatsApp.
Let me be specific. The WhatsApp group for the class. This is where now your child maybe has issues. We know learners can be petty. We proceed to engage the teachers on that wall as, I mean, now this young girl or boy will engage the teacher with other parents on that wall as using your name.
True, as a parent.
This is where now the problems begin. They end up abusing teachers, using your gadget without your knowledge. Some of us as teachers, we swallow it. We say, no, these are parents maybe who have their own issues. They are not strong enough to come and sort out these issues in school. But once you realize that that is your son or daughter doing that, you have failed. So for me, as a parent, one, there are sites that you should lock. Lock Facebook, lock WhatsApp, lock Telegram if you have it, lock Insta. If it's something that was sent through the phone, download it, print for them you can, or transfer it to a computer, maybe a desktop or laptop.
If you have.
If you have, if you don't, you can print nice. If you can't open the document, just sit close to that young man or young girl, let them use that document. If it was an assignment, they do it. You monitor them, that's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so from that, I think parents need to be more than just disciplinarian. In fact, they play a very powerful role in the issue of digital management, I can call it, or digital guide. So you can find this whereby a parent should set a clear boundary, because you just issues of, parents, they argue even on social media, in the group walls. We can have different opinions. If I can use the best word, you cannot be just saying anything to teachers. In fact, teachers are just like the parents, and some of them, even the parents are even older than these teachers, who they are calling the class teachers, their parents. They should at least, if there's an issue, how I wish I prefer even a call, even talk to me the way you want if I'm the teacher through a call than a text. I remember our chief principal always used the word like an SMS will make you. I'll not forget the message or the feeling that you created that time that you sent that SMS or that message. But if you just call me and call me and just say by phone call, you say, Mr. Omondi, you're just a fool. You're a sack of maize. It will just be an impact that time, but I'll be able to forget it very fast than an SMS that I'll be seeing every day. And he said again that an SMS you cannot revise. Once you've sent it, you cannot revise. So we should encourage, by the way, communication is key. Even between the classmates, it's very key. It's very important. Don't block it. But if it is communication let me talk of responsible communication, is good. But if it is beyond that, try and filter the content they communicate and what they talk to each other. Because problems, like let me mention the issue of retained boys, which is currently trending. That issue could have been aborted at some very early stage. Could it that parents took their roles seriously? I cannot blame parents. Could it be that teachers took their roles seriously as teachers? Even it narrows down to the class teachers and even the subject teachers. Because this thing was not planned overnight. It was not planned overnight. We must just talk about it. It was not planned overnight. It is something that has been discussed from maybe, let's say, in not less than a week. It has been discussed. And if that role, the gaps were not missing, they could have been averted. So as parents, they have a critical role to play. As teachers, we have a critical role to play. And even as you, classroom teacher, when you go to class, try and discuss the impact of social media, both positive and negative. Let them know. In fact, some of them, they assume that social media is just about...
there is a young man here, somewhere today, he asked me, hello sir, I always see you online. When do you find time to attend your classes?
He asked you?
Yeah, I think it's someone who knows me. So what I told, my response was, I have a timetable that guides me, and I always do this after doing performing all my chores.
Duties.
So if you see I'm online, it might be that my data is on, but necessarily doesn't mean that I'm online.
So why are you explaining yourself that? You know, in fact, it was not good. Anyway, you are not me. I'm not
felt it was okay.
Okay. So what I can advise students, learn to control your screen time and focus on your goals. You know, if you have a phone, you're using it throughout. Definitely you cannot learn through that phone throughout. In fact, how I wish you should have a maximum of 4 hours with your phone. You know? I'm talking about maximum. Maximum ranges from 0. Maximum ranges from 0 to 4. That's a maximum of 4 hours. But it depends with how you view it. Then parents, they should be 1, role models. Number 2, guides, and also friends in your children's digital journey. Don't just buy a smartphone. You know, we always say a smartphone on wrong hands. And this smartphone can even land people in problems. That boy is below 18 years. And once anything, let's say there is what we call cyber security. Once he publishes any information that is that can cause a security issue, the person who will be first arrested is the owner of the phone. And the owner of the phone cannot be the student, it is the parent. So parents take control, students take control, and also teachers. When you go to classes, talk about the impact of social media, both negative and positive, on shaping the life of these young Kenyans. That is my final take. Maybe Mr. Isaac Ontweka, if you can have your final take, then we close with the remarks.
What I can say is that I'm always positive about social media. Because for me, I know how it has helped. I've seen how it has helped the people around me. Actually, even at the moment, it's doing wonders for me because people outside there can see me, can see us. We are communicating with them through these gadgets. Whatever as a parent you should do as a guardian is to limit access to social media. Check how it is used and guide them before you even allow them to use these gadgets on whatever they should use them for and how they should be used. And of course, social media can be misused. If you misuse these social media sites, you might end up in court process. The fines are very hefty, and then of course, each and every other time that you have these gadgets on your hand or right in front of you, try as much as possible to be responsible. Be a responsible user, so that you don't end up abusing people, you don't end up spreading malice, you don't end up giving false information and other stuff. I just like it that way, that if we can control whatever we're doing with social media, well and good. It can be helpful for them. The more we continue using it for wrong purposes, then it becomes very, very much detrimental.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ontweka. But there's something you mentioned when you were starting. Talked about addiction. We talked about the phone and the social media. Which other form of addiction are you struggling with as a person right now?
The only form of addiction I'm suffering I'm always addicted to anything that deals with chemistry and food.
That's not addiction.
That's
Addiction means,
you see,
no, addiction means you cannot do without.
I can't do without. I don't use drugs, of course.
No, I've asked not what you are not addicted to.
Yeah.
What are you addicted to?
I don't think that I have an addiction now.
Okay, that's the answer. Secondary school, college, or even at other levels.
First, I'll treat addiction as a forest ecosystem.
True.
You see, in a forest, we have both living and non-living things. So you see the composition. There are a lot of things in forest. Addiction is like a forest. You cannot exhaust the discussion on addiction. It comes in very many ways.
Yes, yeah.
So actually, what I can say, we have the common one is whatever we've been discussing. That is the social media,
any other
drug and substance abuse, and then we have the latest one that is really affecting students. That is education.
Betting. You said don't speak in low tones because these are issues that are affecting the society. Right?
Also betting, betting, drug and substance abuse. We have these masturbation things. Then addiction to the phone materials that replace F with P. Yeah, those are the things I fear most. Maybe we can have a session one day, maybe handle one at a time.
Yeah,
because that's the only way you can.
But now I want just you to touch a little bit on this one thing, betting. Because I remember in our previous podcast, as we were discussing some of the issues to hindrance for performance in our previous podcast, betting even it has even made people to go mad. Even others have taken their own life because of betting after losing a huge sum of money. Maybe you've taken a loan and you bet with the whole amount, or maybe you've earned your salary. As little, maybe even let's say as little as 100,000 for that matter. Then you put all of it at in Aviator. Then you want it to multiply by some percentage.
To become a
pilot and get rich. You want to be paid for 1 month, but you get a salary of 6 months, and at the end of it, you get a salary of 0 months. So what can you say, and how can you avoid it? Because you said you're not addicted to betting. So I want to know, how have you been surviving without that betting? Because you have ever tried betting, right? Yeah, you admitted it here. And how have you been trying to minimize it and work on it?
Okay. The addiction now is an animal that we are is ravaging people in our society currently. This is the animal. You can try as much as possible to avoid it. Now, I'll use an example. Once we go for rehabilitation, we don't withdraw the drug, the substance once, maybe today, and then we leave you. It's a gradual process. You just need to make a decision. And once you learn the effects, how much you are costing yourself financially, how much you can't save that money that you get, however little it is. Now, once you realize that your financial pockets are being exploited with betting, you cannot use your finances well, because when you need to now go back to the real you. You see, I've always said this, that you have your mind. You should always you should not let your mind use you, but you should be using your mind.
it doesn't mean that people are not using their minds. Their minds, or the gray matter is very intact, very okay in most cases. Now there is this person in you who is always pushing you. Msee, leo kuna venye baka inashikana koo pale hivyo na Madrid. Sasa tutafanya aje? Naona odd iko best, so niwekele hii so maybe itarudi na so mbili. Unaweka inaenda. Unasema hii so yangu imeenda, wacha ni ya kichwani. Chwani is 50 bob cover. Niweke odd ya 3 or 4 nijaribu kurecover my 100 bob. Again, muhindi anapita nayo kama nyani anapita na sweet banana. So bibu, unaona wewe unaenda mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili. It means huyu samaki najaribu kuvua hapa ndani simpati. So you stop. Right? And because most of the betting occurs online, the betting platforms are online. So what do I do? I just withdraw my money from M-Pesa. So that my M-Pesa is reading 0. Even if I access Fuliza facility, natoa yote. Nikishatoa yote, tunaweka venye kitambo walikuwa wanaweka, hakukuwa na bank, chini ya mattress. Nalalia hapo, bora you don't irrigate beds. Kama wewe ni msee wa kuirrigate kitanda, kaka uta-irrigate pesa yako unless you convert it to coins. So if you realize, the first step for me, I can advise someone, toa pesa yako M-Pesa. Sababu kutoka kwa bank, I know you cannot deposit directly. For example, hizo betting platforms ni through M-Pesa. So ensure hakuna pesa M-Pesa unless unatumia mtu na ukisha receive toa. Sasa anza kubehave kama Fuliza, because Fuliza pesa ikiingia ni ria na choka. Sasa na wewe ikiingia wewe toa. So that hauna ile chance ya kwenda like wacha ni deposit hata imba. Sasa hii kwenye tumefikia hii 20 bob ni pesa nyingine mingi sana. A lot of money. Nikiwa comrade mbao ilikuwa pesa maana. Unaweza kuja kwa KDF na chai ya brown. True. Hadi maybe ndo maana tulianza kuturn brown. Mimi nilibaki tu hivi. Kama bila kunywa mingi sana. Hauko kunywa strong.
Nilikunywa strong tea. I'm turning black
because alikuwa unakunywa black coffee.
Black tea.
Black coffee.
Not coffee.
Anyway, so step number 1 ya addiction ya betting, toa pesa yako M-Pesa kabisa. And then there is something that we are taught in psychology. If something is stressing you, try as much as possible to stay away from the stressor. Now you suppress it. If I have an issue with the brayo, mina brayo atatupatani. Nikimona kikamu hivi mimi naenda direction nyingine. So in a company, maybe mtu wako na discussion, nilieka punch nikatoa dhao moja. Ukisikia hiyo conversation at niliplace punch nikatoa dhao, run murife. Yasi.
You know, I remember not talking about betting. There is what you call pyramid scheme.
Okay. Sasa
now that one has
sijataja mtu
a teaching problem to most of our teachers. Teachers. Unajua nataka at least iteremke.
Walimu ukiangalia payslip imenyongwa sana maybe na
you want to redeem yourself.
Jaribu ile yenye imebaki kidogo tafadhali usiweke kwa pyramid.
Most of the people are vulnerable because I remember there's a pyramid scheme. I'll mention names. Mara, it came. People cried. There's another one. There's another which was converted into a wine and spirit in town here. It was called which one? It was called
the one that I rebranded as Tears Way.
It's called now Cheers. It was called Cheers Way.
Tears Way.
One comes with money. This is how it works. A lot of money is put in that account. So that when you invest, you are given. The people who subscribe first, they are given.
Surely, let me ask you a simple question. If you are indeed smart and very normal, hey, Brian, how can you give me money? Maybe I've given you 1,000 this evening. That today is on Thursday. That by Monday, I give you another 1,000.
Without
not 1,000, maybe 200. I keep on. I remain with 1,000. Meaning that the 200 that I have given you, your 1,000 has earned the 200 shillings. And I'm not doing any business. Why can't you ask yourself, huyu ni nani akona pesa idle ati nitaweka dhao yangu, for example, sijamfanyia kazi, aniambii chenye anafanya, atananipea interest gradually. Tuache kuwa gullible, kwa smart kidogo. Mwalimu ukishaenda class si unakuwa smart. Mwalimu tutajimaliza hapa nje. Kuna watu wamejipima kilo. Na ujue maisha ni mara moja. Kama switch ikishut down, hakuna mtu ataipower on. Betting imeangamiza wase. I am a real brother. I nowadays aliniambia yeye sasa hata hataki kusikia mtu akiongelelea kitu inahusu bet. Aliokoka, unamjua?
Alinyoa.
You know him.
I know.
We have issues, bro. Sasa unakupea dhao ya shopping, unaenda Bungoma town, nikirudi on Saturday yauna, hata shopping ni kutuma una. So we used to have those conflicts. Nikamwambia yeye kuna siku unaelekea pabaya. So akaamua, you also need to make a personal decision that no, this thing is not working and there is no free money. That's what I can say. Briefly, that is.
Okay, all said, at least you tried to give tips on how to avoid the betting addiction. In fact, don't bet completely. There's no free money.
Yeah, there's no free money.
If we have not rendered any services, don't expect any money. In fact, if you must bet,